Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Naveen Nishchal. I welcome you all for today's session. Voice of Healthcare presents The Big Idea, voicing what's next in healthcare. The Big Idea, Voice of Healthcare's newest virtual mini interview series that features leaders and visionaries from all walks of healthcare space in a one-to-one discussion. This breezy, snackable 10 minutes show is a quick, refreshing dip for those who want to stay updated on all newsworthy developments in healthcare. In this series, our eminent guests will empower you with expert insights on disruptions, practices, and trends that are worth exploring and worth sharing. And our guest today is Dr. GSK Velu, CMD, Trivitron Healthcare and Neuberg Diagnostic. He has diverse experience across different verticals in healthcare, both at national and international level. Welcome to the show, Dr. Velu.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Naveen.
So, Dr. Velu, I visited your LinkedIn profile and I saw you are into a lot of ventures. I was quite intrigued with your success story. You being first generation entrepreneur. First, I want to know how did you start off with this journey? And second, I want to know what all ventures you are into.
Yeah, thank you. No, I am in this industry for 35 years. I come from a poor family from a South Tamilnadu village called 𝐂𝐿𝐈 where I was born. I did my education near Madurai in some village, then subsequently in Madurai and Nagarkoil. Before I went for my graduation in BITS Pilani, in Pilani
Right,
campus, where I
right.
did my pharmacy with biomedical engineering background. But since in my initial days, my father got me into school almost 2.5 years before by
Okay.
calibrating my age because there was no first standard in the village where my father was working. So instead
Okay.
of going to lower kindergarten, I went to first standard. That is how my
Wow.
life started. So it's a
Wow.
little bit early start. So at the age of 19, I graduated from BITS Pilani and then took my career into the job by in the medical device and diagnostics. These are the two things I'm doing all these 35 years of my career.
Right.
And basically, before me, obviously, in my life, no, in my family, nobody knew what is business or entrepreneurship. So everything what happened to me is by accident. So I would say I'm an accidental entrepreneur. So
Interesting.
nothing was planned, but just
Yeah.
one thing which I always wanted to do is I wanted to be close to medicine. I could not get my MBBS seat for just 1.5 marks because of this entrance and some other reservations policy in Tamil Nadu. So I wanted to be close to medicine. That's how even I could have done any.
Lucky you are. I would say lucky you are.
So now I'm happy that I'm even today I'm passionately involved in medicine.
Yeah.
And as you asked me another question, what you are involved in, I'm actually spending my executive time mostly in Neuberg and Trivitron now. Almost 70% of my time is going into Neuberg and 30% into Trivitron in the executive time. Of course, on a strategic level, I'm involved in many other healthcare enterprises like our eye hospital chain, Maxivision. Then we have dialysis and dental joint venture with Apollo Dental and Apollo Dialysis. Then we have a super specialty hospital group called Kaveri Hospital, where
Right.
I'm a significant investor and a director.
Right.
So then apart from that, I have two financial services arm. One is Stakeboard Capital, in which I am a
Okay.
GP and LP. Then
Right.
also I have GSK Ventures, which is into startup and healthcare investments mainly.
Okay. Early investment.
Yes.
Got it. Great. Very interesting. So, Dr. Velu, while you were creating this empire uh, from scratch, and I'm sure this journey was not an easy journey, and you must have faced a lot of challenges. So, if you could, tell us some of the challenges you faced during this journey to our viewers, that will be really, helpful.
Yeah, every business goes through multiple ups and downs, and also the business itself gets interrupted and disrupted very often. Like
Yeah.
when we started Trivitron, it was just a trading company. We started with the concept of generalists for specialists. Then we found we could not become a leader by being
Okay.
a trader. So
Right.
you are just a ladder for other people. Many multinationals were brought into the country by us, but once they had the significant volume, they all came direct to India. That is the
Right.
time in we decided to move from trading into manufacturing. And I spent my early part of my life in China. That inspired me to get into manufacturing in large scale. Today, Trivitron is one of the largest manufacturer of medical equipments, focusing on multiple devices in laboratory medicine, radiology, intensive care, dialysis, and we run 15 manufacturing facilities in 5 countries across the
Wow.
world, including US and China. So
Wow.
that has happened, which I wouldn't have even dreamt some time back. It's just that we went after our passion, and probably we are in a position where we are today. Though 10 years back we had no idea what manufacturing was all about. So again, in any businesses, whether it is when we started Neuberg, which is my third entry into diagnostics. 91, I started a lab in Calicut. 98, I co-founded Metropolis, and today we are looking at Neuberg. In 2017, again we went to focus on new generation techniques. So what
Right.
I understand is we have to keep on transforming our businesses, because
Yeah.
businesses don't remain static. You have to
Yeah.
keep changing and disrupting and thinking differently. And you have to keep a very close watch of what is going on in the ecosystem. And if
Yeah.
you don't change as per the ecosystem, you will become irrelevant in the market.
Yeah. So I think you saw an opportunity in every adversity, and that's how kept on innovating every business into different domain. So that's quite interesting,
As
amazing.
all of us say, failure is very important to succeed.
Yeah.
If you're not
Yeah.
realized and you're not understood failure, you will never
Absolutely.
realize what success is all about. So both
Absolutely.
goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Failures are stepping stones. We fail and then we learn. I fully echo with your sentiment. So Dr. Velu, uh, although you are into a lot of things, but in your head, even today, you know, the kind of person you are, I mean, you are a first generation entrepreneur, and you keep I mean, you are very hardworking, passionate about healthcare, and I have heard that you are very close to accessibility, affordability, and quality of healthcare in India. So I'm sure you are planning something big in future. Something else is also brewing in your mind, that this is the next thing I want to do. Once I settle these businesses, then I will do this. Could you give us some hint, what is that thing which is brewing in your mind?
No, currently, I think we are, I am leading a lot on learning and probably seeding some ventures in the area of
Yeah.
digital health, which we
Yeah.
think is going to be an important area. So we have a company called Hexel Healthcare, which is actually investing into multiple startups in healthcare.
Yeah.
So our idea is to look at a brand of brands kind of idea is what we are seeding currently, and we
Right.
will see how it goes. So digital health has multiple dimensions, whether it is you can be an operator, aggregator, you can be a tech provider, you could be just an IoT software provider, anything. So many things can be done in that space. And I'm amazed with the amount of enthusiasm and the entrepreneurial skills which we have in our country on the digital health space. Every day
Yeah.
we keep talking to somebody or other who wants to get into digital health. I think it's an area, of course, though it is crowded, but that's a way to deliver medicine in the future, particularly
Yeah.
the remotest of remote location. Everywhere a doctor will not be there, so you need
Yeah.
to take a doctor virtually there. You need to
Yeah.
take, have devices which is integrated. You have wearable devices which start monitoring your metabolic parameters regular basis. So all this technology disruption is going to happen, and that's where we are putting. Though we didn't, other our core companies are involved in core technologies, we thought we should incubate this idea outside. So we are
Yeah.
separately incubating digital health as one focus. In our
Yeah.
core area, of course, in Neuberg, for example, our focus is moved from routine diagnostics to advanced diagnostics, where we are putting
Okay.
in, genomics, metabolomics,
Yeah.
proteomics, molecular diagnostics, those areas. So I think you can't be doing the same routine stuff every time, and every company has to aspire to do more. So as every companies are doing what is required in their field, but as a group, and my thinking is digital health will play a very big role, not only in the advanced world, but also in the developing world, where the health will be delivered, in a seamless way. Healthcare will be delivered in a seamless fashion in the future.
Absolutely. So you mean to say that I'm into right space? If I'm
Uh,
doing digital
yeah,
health.
absolutely. Yeah, I just heard. So I'm sure that is the space in which a lot of activities are going to happen, and
Yeah.
all the even the biggies are interested, right from Google to Microsoft to Apple.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at it, but
Yeah.
more the merrier. because the end of
Yeah,
the day, health is wealth. So health will
absolutely.
continue to be the area of focus forever as long as the mankind exists. So from that angle, I think there'll be new innovations. Will be if no innovation is meaningful unless we take those innovative ideas from other field and apply into healthcare. So
Correct.
for me, I see healthcare technology as something as an applied science. All these things which we are seeing in healthcare is invented elsewhere. We are only taking it and tweaking it and applying to the healthcare needs.
Right. Got it. So I agree with you that technology has huge potential, and technology is, especially digital health, is going to change, healthcare landscape in India. I'm sure globally it will change how we deliver health in India. I'm sure. So while we are talking about digital health and technology and entrepreneur, so we are in the end of the session, and I will ask two more questions. So my question is, what advice would you like to give to these new age entrepreneurs, founders who are working in, especially in healthcare space? What advice, one or two advice, you would, because of your experience and your leadership skills. So what advice would you like to give to these entrepreneurs?
I would say two. One is never go after money, go after your passion. Then the money come behind you. Because sometimes nowadays the startup world, everybody is so much interested in this valuation game and they lose focus sometimes. So they
Yeah,
have to be very clear on what they want to do and they should go after with passionately. Then the success will come. Second
right,
thing in the startup ecosystem in India is we all want to do things more cost effectively. That's good, but that cannot be the only way a startup can survive. You need to always find out that one unmet need and try to meet that need in some form or other, whether in whichever market you want to work in, whether it in India or global or any other place we do. All the startup companies should first to ultimately identify one startup. Nowadays what we find, one idea 100 companies are coming up with.
yeah,
So then obviously the one or two or three succeeds and everybody else fails. So if every startup start looking at it differently and say, I'm going to solve a problem which is not done before, I think that's where the ecosystem in the US, if you see in the Silicon Valley and other real innovations come up. So I'm sure
mm,
India has a lot of talent and we see
yeah,
this ecosystem is improving a lot, particularly the startup ecosystem. But they have to be a little careful to identify that one area which they'll be really solving so that the business becomes meaningful and long-term sustainable.
yeah. I agree with your points that passion before money and value creation before valuation. I fully agree with these points. So, thank you very much. With that, we wrap up this very interesting episode with Dr. GSK Velu. I hope through this conversation, our viewers got some interesting insights into healthcare sector. Thank you very much, Dr. Velu, for sparing time out of your busy schedule and being with us on this show. I thank all our viewers for staying with us till the end. For knowing more on what's next in healthcare, stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you, Dr. Naveen, for having me in the show.